What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and bring another little nugget to add to the Soul Tribe archive. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Venus in Sagittarius in the ninth house. Now, when we talk about the lovely Empress Venus is its nature is to magnetize. Venus is how we experience beauty, how we express beauty, how we create. Think of Venus has this way of attracting things without really doing much, but she does do a lot. Think about how a flower, once it blooms, it's releasing this fragrance. It has this color, and then the bees come, the butterflies come, the hummingbirds come, and then they go to spread that creativity and things around there. So that's one way to kind of think about the nature of Venus. And then we get to Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Big Papa, and they are the mutable fire sign, and their gender is masculine in nature. So there's this active energy that goes with Sagittarius. Now, Sag is seeing that their ruler is Jupiter. Sag has a way of taking the energies and expanding it. Sag can bring about this sense of optimism, doing these things that really just light our fire up, and really can take our creative surges and really just kind of spread it out, create this really big bonfire. And again, you're just attracting more people to just support that energy. And then you get to the ninth house. The ninth house is a Caden house. It's where the sun rejoices in traditional astrology, and it was known as the house of God. But it can be the house of like religion or spirituality. This can be the house of long distance travels. This could be of foreign delights and foreign pleasures, just things that are outside of what you normally know. And this can be like the house of higher knowledge as well, tapping into that divine source. So when you combine all of this is dope. This is a dope place for Venus. One, you would have in Aries rising by whole sign, so that's something to think about. Two, you want to see what Big Papa's doing in your chart. Is Jupiter witnessing Venus by trine, by sextile, by opposition, by square? How? Or does he not even see her at all? He ain't even giving a time of day. So you do want to see what Jupiter is doing to see how he's providing resources for maybe their mutual reception. Wouldn't that be lovely? But with this energy, one thing that I could see that this as talking about all that attractive energy, I feel like this is someone who could potentially be very divinely inspired. If you were to attract, because Venus is going to rule your second house, which is your house of your livelihood, your resources, your wealth, and your seventh house, which is going to be like your marriages, your business partnerships, things along those kind of one-on-one connections. But one connection, I would think definitely having that connection with your higher knowledge, doing things that get you in that flow, that get that fire moving, because that is someone I could see you could just crank out whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you love math, maybe you love science, maybe you love art, maybe you love sports, activity, something. But this Venus is one that's you're not just receiving these downloads, you're putting this stuff out there for others to enjoy as well. And keep in mind, this could also be too where you may attract others who are outside of your typical comfort zone, whether this be maybe someone from overseas possibly, or maybe just someone who grew up in a different environment from you. But you could find a lot of support, I feel, potentially from outside resources, or from others. Like they may not, because Venus is not necessarily witnessing that second house, but where it's not to say that she's not going to pull you the money, but she may pull you the people to get you the resources that you need to keep your creative endeavors alive. So that's another thing to think about. I could see this as being open to different kind of collaborations and thinking about working with different groups. Maybe you can potentially meet someone, maybe if we're talking about marriage, for example, maybe you meet someone who's outside of, maybe you grew up Catholic and this person grew up Buddhist, or maybe you don't have any kind of spiritual background and this person is a yoga teacher or something, some kind of high spiritual, insert spiritual title here. But I really do think that this could be something where you can do just a lot of a lot of good. And I would say even look into exploring different kind of creative styles. Even maybe if you were one who tends to, let's say maybe if you were like a violinist and you grew up doing a lot of classical, maybe look into exploring some kind of folk or music, or maybe look into jazz violin or something like that. Just like another example. Or maybe if you happen to, okay, I'll dip into the math realm for a minute. Maybe you like geometry, but maybe you want to dip into a little calculus. You know better than I do. So maybe come teach me some of that stuff. But yes, would be just a couple of things that I could, and keep in mind, I'm just speaking very generally when I'm talking about this stuff. The whole nature of the chart would really kind of flavor this a lot more. But I would love to hear if you happen to have this placement, or if you know someone who has this placement, how they're working with these energies, or how you're working with these energies. What things are you creating? How prolific have you been? And what new stuff do you get on the horizon there? But also, too, if you're wanting to book any sort of like services with me, I have all those links down in the description box below. And also check out my other channel, The Chariot and Friends, where I talk about all things lunar shenanigans and talk about working with like Cancerian. It's geared towards like kind of Cancerian energy, but we all have Cancer somewhere in our chart, and we all experience Cancer transits. So check that out if you want to work a bit closely with the moon and get in sync with that lovely, lovely lunar energy. But until next time, keep raising that consciousness and that vibration through the roof to Venus. And I will catch you on the next one later.